Welcome to this episode of Inside Rugby, and I'm going to be talking about the selection from Jacques Nienaber of the Springboks team to play Argentina this weekend in Buenos Aires. Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Rugby. My name's Mark and there's an incredible amount of rugby coming up this weekend. There's 10 international games being played and one of them is the Springboks against Argentina in Buenos Aires. And of course we had a very close encounter last weekend in South Africa, in Johannesburg, where South Africa got away with one. I felt, all my South African friends think it was always in the bag, but if the Argentinians had their kicking boots on, maybe it would have been different. But let's not deal with maybes, let's deal with the facts. And this weekend Jacques Nienaber has made a lot of changes in the Springboks team heading into this game in Buenos Aires, and it makes a lot of sense because there's still everything to play for. And even though people are saying in the comments that these are just warm-up games and they don't mean anything, well, I'll tell you what, if you're a player trying to go to the World Cup and this is your last chance to get into the squad, then this warm-up game means everything in your entire career. So I don't subscribe to this idea that the warm-up games don't mean anything, because it can make and break a rugby player's career. So no doubt this weekend every single one of these South Africans are going to be playing to their ultimate limit to try to be able to get into the squad that's going to be named this week heading off to the Rugby World Cup. Now, it made a lot of sense for me for the coaches this week to ring in the changes and give all the players an opportunity to prove themselves ahead of the World Cup announcements coming forward this week. Ian Foster's done the same thing with the All Blacks to play Australia in Dunedin. So it made sense that Jacques Nienaber was going to do the same thing for this team, and that's exactly what he's done. So why don't we have a look at the team, and I'll give my comments as we go through them. Okay, so let's start off in the forwards, and in the front row we have Trevor Nakane, Bonambi and du Toit, Thomas du Toit that is. And Bonambi is the captain this week. So after 60 test matches for the Springboks, this is his 30th as a run-on player. He's got the big C next to his name, and I believe he's the second black African to captain the Springboks in the history. Of course, Kolisi is the other one. So well done to Bonambi for this weekend's opportunity to be the captain of the Springboks. So a very good tight three there. I don't think the Springboks are going to lose anything with those three up front. The starting locks this weekend for the Springboks are Jean Kleyn and Marvin Orie. I think Orie had a good game last week against the Argentinian Pumas. And Kleyn, I haven't seen this guy play a lot, so it's going to be interesting. Let me know from the Springboks point of view if you think this is a good move with Kleyn getting in and getting this opportunity. Looking forward to him being in the tight five. In the back three this weekend, the Springboks have gone with Fourie, Mostert and Visa, and again a good combination. And I think there's a lot of players that are in selection for these back three for the Springboks. Of course, Kolisi is still injured, not named on any starting lineup. Nienaber is starting to think that he's going to be ready for Wales, the game against Wales, so that's going to be really good to see him come back, of course. But what do you think of this back three for the Springboks? Do you think it's a good selection? I like Mostert, I think he's really good. Visa's been doing very, very well also in the previous games. So I think once again the Springboks have got a good back three in the scrum for this particular match. Now the forwards coming off the bench in this match are going to be Dweeba, Steenkamp, Vincent Coe, Jean-Luc Deprez and Aaron Roos. So again the Springboks have got depth in this squad, and I'm going to be really interested to see how this entire forward pack goes against Argentina in the weekend, and whether or not some of these players are going to be putting pressure on those that have played in the previous games. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. So there's the bench forwards as well as the forward pack that's been selected for this game against Argentina this week. I'm impressed with it. I think they're going to do well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And do you think Jacques Nienaber has done the right thing this week for the forwards to make the changes as he has, or would you have liked seeing some more stability in there from Nienaber moving into these next 3 warm-up games for the Springboks? Let me know in the comments. Okay, on to the backs for the Springboks, and the changes have been rung in again as far as the backs go. And at halfback we have Cobus Reinach, and Reinach is an interesting player coming in for Faf de Klerk and Grant Williams, of course, who got concussed in the last game against Argentina. And we'll see how Reinach goes there. Manie Libbok's back in at number 10. And it seems to me that Jacques Nienaber is starting to put some consistency into Manie Libbok. And depending on Andre Pollard's injury concerns, maybe Libbok is going to be the man. I haven't seen him play that badly yet for the Springboks in this series. But again, let me know what you think. There's a plethora of 10s waiting to play for South Africa. So we're going to see Libbok out again this weekend. He's been opening up the back play well, I thought, for the Springboks. His kicking's been pretty good. And so far, I haven't been able to fault the guy. I think he's been putting it in for the Springboks. So that's going to be the half and first 5 pairing in this game in the weekend. In the centres, we're going to see Vesterhuizen back in. Andre played really, really well in that first game against Australia. I've been a little bit disappointed that he didn't get another opportunity until now, but he's back in now. He's got a chance to prove. This guy's really desperate to get to the World Cup, so I'm sure he's going to put in a big one. He's going to be partnering with Lukano Am in the centres, and I think that's going to be a really, really good pairing. And don't be surprised if these two break up the Argentinian backline and make a lot of line breaks, because I think they're both really wonderful players. And Lukano Am, I'm sure, is wanting to find some of that form that we all know he's got, and we haven't really seen the best of him in this series today. So that's going to be the centre pairing this weekend for the Springboks. Okay, on the wings we're going to see Mapimpi and Moody, and I'm excited to see both these guys play. They're fast, exciting wingers. They've got a lot of speed and skill level, and I think again they could be doing some potential damage. We've got Damien Willemse coming in at fullback. Willie LaRue's getting a bit of a rest after playing in the games, and it's going to be interesting to see what Willemse can do at fullback and whether he'll take over some of that strategic kicking role in tandem with Manie Libbok. Maybe that's something that Jacques Nienaber has got planned also for this weekend, to see how Willemse plays in that position. So there we go, that's the Springboks backs that'll be starting this weekend. Let me know what you think. Is it the right choice? Vesterhuizen is in. I'm excited to see that. Are you excited to see him get a go in this back line? Jesse Kriel's been put on the bench, and I'll go through the rest of the backs on the bench for this weekend as well. On the backs on the bench this weekend, we've got Herschel Jantjie, Jesse Kriel and Kurt Liardense. So again, a strong backline on the bench to come on and change this game, whether it be through someone being injured or the typical replacement process early in the second half. I really like the way Jesse Kriel played against Argentina in the first game. I think he's got a lot more to offer, and if the Springbok forwards can get more ball in this game and controlled ball, I think we're going to see a very, very rampant South African backline in this game. I don't think we've seen the full potential yet, and a lot of my South African friends are saying, well, you know, it's only warm-up games and they're keeping a lid on it maybe a little bit. Well, I don't think winning is a bad habit, and I think if we can gain some momentum from the Springboks in this particular game against Argentina, it's going to lead them into the next 2 games with a lot of confidence and building as they go forward. So Nienaber has really rung in the changes this weekend to play in Buenos Aires against Argentina. I like the look of this team a big time actually. I think the forwards are really good, dynamic, strong, powerful, but also really, really open to getting quick turnover ball. And I think they're not going to lose really much at all from the team that played last weekend. And as far as Argentina goes, haven't seen their team yet. I'll put a shout out about that. But I see the Springboks being too good for Argentina this weekend. I see a different kind of game. I see the Springboks being able to win a little bit more ball, and I see this particular backline having more luck at getting through the Argentinian inward defence. And when I say inward defence, I talk about the 9 and 10 defence there. I think we're going to see a lot of breaks through that area play this weekend. So I'm picking a Springboks wing. It's going to be not as close as it was last weekend. I give it to the Springboks by 10 or 15 points this weekend. And I think it's a great thing that Jacques Nienaber has given all these players who are on the peripheral of selection for the Rugby World Cup an opportunity this week in Buenos Aires to show what they've got, so that when that team is announced this week, that each of the players can think, well, I was given a fair go, and that's what it should be all about at this level of rugby. So let me know what you think in the comments, and also don't forget to head over to the community tab on this channel, where I'm putting up all of the games that are being played this weekend for you to vote on who is going to be the winner. And don't forget to put in the comments on that page also what you think the predictor score is going to be. So if you think the Springboks are going to win this weekend, go over to the community page, tick off the Springboks, but also put what you think the score is going to be against Argentina. Okay, well that's it. Plenty of rugby coming up this weekend. Don't forget to check it all out here on Inside Rugby. I'm going to be doing previews and reviews of the games and giving my point of view on what's gone on in the world of rugby. Thanks very much for watching the channel, everybody, and I'll see you again real soon in the next video. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and enjoy your rugby. Bye for now.